How y'all doing? Don't y'all be laughing at my glasses now. I had to get my other pair of readers out the drawer. Y'all had fogged up the other ones when I posted about the fatherhood issue. See, you can be the best mother in the world. I know. My mother is a phenomenal mother. She taught us to be respectful, to have a work ethic. She taught us morals and value, to take pride in ourselves, pride in the kind of work we do. My mother is very instrumental in making me the woman I am. And to me, she is a top-notch mother. There's not a better mother in the world. But she still ain't my daddy. Never has been. Never will be. And she never claimed that she was. Now, say what you want to, ladies. You can't raise a man. You can't raise a boy into a man without a man. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be married to the man. I'm not saying that that man has to be his father. But you best believe, honey, you better have an uncle, older brother, grandfather, coach, minister, male teacher, or some man who takes an interest in that child, a wholesome interest in your child, that can teach him the ways of a man. See, I know. I have a son. I have a young adult son. And there are some things that even now, as he is coming into manhood, I can't understand. When my son came back from the war and started telling me about how frustrating it was at first when he wasn't able to find the kind of employment he wanted, I couldn't understand his frustration. I felt like that as his mother, if he was going to be able to stay under my roof, that he should, just be satisfied being able to find him, whatever he could until he got the job he wanted. Wasn't enough for him. I couldn't understand that. But see, as a woman, I can't understand. I had to be made to understand what a man needs to be fulfilled as a man. I couldn't talk to my son about that, and I birthed him in the world. Now, while we was on this subject about needing a man to be in a boy's life to make him be a man, and that no matter how great a mother you are, you're not his father, some women came forward with some serious delusions. If your mother raised your brothers or you into a man, and she did a great job, she didn't do it by herself. As a matter of fact, ladies, if your mama raised you into a good, productive, virtuous woman, she didn't do that by herself. See, whether we want to realize it or not, fathers or father figures are necessary. See, if you could take them and raise them by yourself, the good Lord would have fixed it where you could be the one to make them by yourself. And you didn't make them by yourself. As a matter of fact, I don't know but one woman who conceived a child by any other means than a man. As a matter of fact, ladies, men are necessary to bring structure, protection, and provision to a family. As a matter of fact, when I was a child, I noticed the difference the tone, even the atmosphere in the house when a man was in the house. And if you doubt my statement, you get a bunch of little children playing together and you go and tell them to go do something, or to be quiet, or to be still. Then let a man walk in that room. He doesn't even have to raise his voice. I'm talking about a man now. He doesn't even have to raise his voice. See, when we start having these kinds of conversations, the question is raised, well, where are all the deadbeat daddies? Where are all the absent fathers? Where are all the no good men? They right where they was when you first saw them. That no good deadbeat daddy that you say is your child's daddy, he in the same place he was when you met him. Standing on the corner, leaning on the fence, somewhere rolling a blunt, bumping his loud music, grinning up in some other woman's face, being slick, hustling, or whatever he was doing when you met him. See, I knew that when I talked about not being able to raise a son without male influence, or women being the mother but they can't be the father, I knew that it was going to draw out some discussion. But I didn't know I was going to have to get these. I had to go down to the I went and got these at the Dollar Tree. I had to go get these at the Dollar Tree. Y'all fogged up my regular lenses because there was some heat coming through the screen. As a matter of fact, the topic that I normally do on Tuesdays, I can't even do on Tuesdays because y'all mad. But the truth is that the number of absentee and deadbeat daddies would go down dramatically if so many women would stop trying to manipulate men into marriage or commitment by using a baby or trying to use a baby to keep them. You know how long women been trying to do that? Didn't work for them. Well, it worked for some of them. But see, that depends on the man. Some men of character will raise their child. They won't leave their offspring. And I commend those kind. But I'm going to warn you, ladies. Just because you get that baby, and even if you get the ring and he stays, it sure don't mean that you got him. And it has to be a miserable existence to be with a man wondering if he really wants to be there. You see, again, that baby ain't going to make him stay. And I sometimes wonder just how many men were not given the benefit of informed consent before they were made fathers. You see, in the profession I'm in, you can't perform any type of procedure without consent. No treatment without consent. If he's unconscious, if he doesn't even know he's in the world, somebody has to give the okay for anything to be done to them medically. So now, a lot of these men didn't give informed consent. Some of you may have taken it as implied consent if he had unprotected sex with you without a condom. Tongue getting tired because I'm getting ready to tell y'all something. But how many of you lied and said you was on birth control when you wasn't? You say he implied consent when he decided that he was going to be with you without a condom. But just like you didn't insist upon him wearing a condom, how dare you demand so much now? Because, honey, he did not go in there without permission. If he did go in there without your permission, then the reason why your child's father is absent is because he's somewhere doing 15 to 20 in the state penitentiary for rape, because Sex with a woman without her consent is rape. And if he didn't rape you, you allowed it. As I say many times, at least 50% of what's done to you is done by you. Now, consider that if he's not ready to be a father, making him a father won't make him be your husband. If he's not ready to be a husband, don't try to make him be a father. Sometimes the reason why so many are quick to say, my baby daddy ain't is because your baby daddy ain't with you. Now, I'm not releasing men of their obligation to their children. And how sad it is that it has to be labeled as an obligation, when had you waited and not made a hasty, manipulative decision, the birth of a child could have been a joy to him. And then I want to ask you this. If that man already had some children by some other women, what made you think that he was going to be any different with you than them? Oh, I forgot. You are the supreme potentate and member of the mythical order of the Golden Coochie. No, honey. If you may have done that, chalk it up. Charge it to the game. If possible, see if you can build an amicable parenting partnership with the absent father. If not, do the best you can. Find some positive male role models for your children, especially your sons, and choose better next time. Young lady, if you're dating, if you think you're in a relationship and you want to propel that relationship forward or to another level of commitment, go somewhere and sit down. Be patient. Watch, look, listen, and see if this is a man that you want to be committed to. That you may, if you want to be married to him, if you want to have children with him, because honey, parenthood ain't no joke. It's a lifetime commitment. Because as they used to say where I come from, when children are little, they're on your lap. When they get older, they get on your heart. I applaud women who are single by divorce, death, because you're doing a job that you never anticipated doing alone. But for those of you who made the choice to be single mothers, it is just that, your choice. Now, I know there are a lot of young girls that got caught out there 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. I understand that. Hold your head up, get your life together. Don't have no more babies. And you'll be all right. But if you're sitting up somewhere plotting, thinking, planning, maybe you're going to forget to take a pill, or you're just going to tell him, you don't need a condom this time, because you hope that you will get the ring or find you a meal ticket, a gravy train, or whatever you think. Don't do it, honey. You're setting yourself up for a life full of heartache. And you're possibly getting ready to be an old, embittered, old, hateful old sister, spitting out nothing but poison because you're mad, and you're mostly mad with yourself. Don't do that. Let the birth of your child be a joyous occasion with a man that you love. preferably one that you're married to. Because as I said before, one of the problems in our community, especially the black community, is that we can't build a community because baby mamas and baby daddies don't build families and communities. Men and women who have the courage to love and the courage to commit to marriage build communities. Women, especially young women who are not yet mothers, and those of you who may be mothers, and as you go in life you may choose to marry or whatever, you choose your children's father. You choose him. Choose wisely. Choose a man of character, a man of integrity, a man who has a work ethic. Every good shot calling big baller doesn't make a good father. And one of the best ways that you can begin to do that is examine your relationship with your own father and consider how much the condition of that relationship will have bearings on the types of men that you choose. As I close this video, I want to send a very special shout out to my grandfather, Dr. S.C. Tucker, to my uncles, Sidney Anthony Tucker Jr., Walter Eugene Tucker, the late Chester Broughton, Thomas James Tate, the late Nathaniel Howard, Rochester Howard, James Floyd Howard, Gerald Andrews, Willie James Clausell, the late Charlie Earl and Joe Louis Peoples, L.C., who passed shortly after my graduation from nursing school. So many men that I cannot name who were significant figures in my life and in my son's life. I thank you. I thank so many of you who are in my Facebook family, who are so honest in revealing yourself as a man. Todd Fontaine, Cornell Mallory, my friend Wonderful Watson, Jose Handslip. There are so many of you. I especially applaud all of you who are being fathers to your children, especially those who try to do the best you can despite having a crazy baby mama. Ladies, remember, it takes a man to make a boy into a man. You are the best mother in the world if you're really trying to raise your son, but you're not his father. Remember, be good to yourselves. And stop thinking you can raise these boys by yourself.